And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Medium Podcast. I guess this is our unofficial first episode. We actually did tape a first episode 4 weeks back, but the episode was lost. It might have been from our new tech guy, Brandon, or Ryan Glickman might have stolen it. Who knows? Maybe. We don't know yet, but yes, we're just going to consider this our first episode, the beginning of the new season of the Medium. To recap, basically, I'm your new host, Sam Petosa. I was one of the co-hosts of the last season of the Medium, but filling in for the spots for Chris French and Nathan Applebaum, we have my good friend MJ Eisenberg.
What's up?
We have Lucas Lima.
What's going on, guys?
We have Brandon Morantz as the new tech guy. Hopefully he doesn't fuck this episode up.
Sorry, guys. Hey.
Replacing the one, the only Ben Spiesman, who would kind of be very sad to see that Tiger's back, but Ricky's not. So here we go. But we're just going to start this show off with a moment of silence for Jimmy Garoppolo. It's a very delicate subject around here. Lucas Lima, a diehard 49ers fan. But their season's basically over. C.J. Beathard's getting them nowhere. They lost Jerick McKinnon and Jimmy Garoppolo, their two best players. Just got to feel bad for them, so we're going to mourn for them. Lucas, you have
I would like to
say?
make a quick point about Beathard. Last year, with the worst roster, we lost 5 games by a total of 15 points. So I'm not going to say we're going to win a bunch of games, but I think 4-12 is definitely in the realm of possibility now without Garoppolo, which is kind of sad.
We'll talk a little more about Garoppolo in a second, but first, let's mourn. That will be it. I'm sorry for your loss, Lucas. Please don't cry in the studio. That's not manly. But a little bit on Garoppolo. Yes, their season's lost, but this is a very young team that could use some more talent. So, do I think that a potential top 5 pick could be the worst thing for them? Obviously, you don't want to see your franchise get a torn ACL, but I mean, like, imagine putting Ed Oliver onto that defensive line.
Bosa.
Or getting like Nick Bosa, or putting a linebacker like Devin White.
The pass rush there is just so awful. Like, our pass rush has just been awful at generating sacks.
So, yes, this is bad for the 49ers this season, but let's face it, guys, they're not beating the Rams, they're not beating the Vikings. So, why not take your loss where losses are due, get a good player, and then come back next season even better?
I mean, we lost our starting running back. We paid a fuck ton of money, too.
Yeah, but Breida was playing pretty well.
No, Breida was playing well, but we lost our starting running back before the season even started.
All right, we haven't even gotten into the segments yet, and we're already starting sports. Oh, so excited. All right, so moving on, guys. Thank you. A little bit of a change from last year. We always had the same segment today in sports, but given that the show does not come out the same day as it's recorded, we're going to change the segment called This Week in Sports. So basically major sports events that happened this week, maybe even today, what we think is going to happen later in the week. Starting off with something I've been waiting to say for 4 years. MJ, you want to say it for me?
The red polos are back. Tiger is back.
Yup, Sundays are great again, ladies and gentlemen. Tiger Woods is back, winning his first PGA Tour event since 2014. How does it feel, MJ?
It was electric.
It was an electric atmosphere. You could see it you could see it on the course. You could see it in the crowd. Justin Rose won the FedEx Cup, but nobody gave a fuck because Tiger Woods is back, everybody, blowing out the competition. It was just electric. Sundays are great again. I can finally wear red on Sundays again. Are you going to wear red on Sundays now?
I'm probably going to wear brown on Sundays because I'm a Browns fan, but under my Browns jersey, I'll wear a red polo.
It's just good for the sport that he's back. I know golf's not the most exciting sport, but Tiger Woods made golf kind of fun. I mean, going to the Masters, seeing him with the fist bumps and those long putts. I mean, he was exciting to watch. He's my childhood watching golf. It's good to see him back. And I don't think this is some short-term thing. I think he's back for the long run, and he's going to open up as one of the favorites for the Masters in 2019. And we'll be covering the Masters. We covered the Masters last year, openly discussed our hatred for Patrick Reed. That was with Ben Spiesman. Maybe he'll be back from college by then. Who knows? But, yes, we're very excited. Tiger Woods is back. But that's not the only news this week in sports. Jimmy Butler has requested a trade from Minnesota. The multiple-time All-Star and the star shooting guard for Minnesota was injured for half the season last year, but took Minnesota to their first playoff appearance in years. Jimmy Butler requested a trade. Where do you think he's gone?
Well, I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but there have been a few reports, mainly by Mark Stein, I believe, said that his preferred destination is the Miami Heat, and out of the 20-plus teams that have inquired about him, they are very, very interested. So I definitely think a move could be made. People are saying Phoenix might be a third team and it could get done. as early as tonight on Wednesday, September 26th. So I think it'll be good. Butler's obviously a top 10 player. When he got to Minnesota, their team outscored and their team score improved by 10 points, I believe. So he's obviously a really talented player, and I think as long as we don't give up too much, I think it'll be a good trade.
MJ, you have anything to say about that?
He's probably gonna go to the Heat. I think that's pretty obvious. But Cavs owner Dan Gilbert did have dinner with the Minnesota Timberwolves owner, so maybe Cleveland.
Yeah, but Rick Pitino also had lunch with Jim Boeheim, but does that mean that they're going to be together?
Probably not.
Exactly, but I think this is a player that the Miami Heat need. They've been going after whales, we're calling them whales, for years now, ever since LeBron left. They swung out on Gordon Hayward, swung out on KD. I think this is finally the one they get. I think that relationship with Dwayne Wade's really strong. And I think he's a good player to replace Dwayne Wade because we all know this is his last year, sadly enough. We also saw that 9-minute video. I don't regret watching that for a second, but I think this is the player the Miami Heat need. I think it's a very feasible trade. Yes, the asking price might be a little hefty, but for a player of Jimmy Butler's stature, who's improved his points per game every year except for last year, where he was injured for most of the year and he only dropped by 0.7, basically. He's a very well-rounded player. He's a shooting guard that's going to take the reins for Wade. This will generate a lot of excitement in Miami, especially if they can keep Josh Richardson and get rid of the contract of Hassan Whiteside.
What I was going to say about Josh Richardson is that Josh Richardson and Jimmy Butler both have insane defensive abilities. Like two of the top defenders at their position. So I think if the Heat are able to keep Richardson and also acquire Butler, they're going to be a pain in the ass for their teams to try to score on them.
Did you hear why Butler wants to get out?
No.
I think it's because he fucked Kat's girlfriend. You guys not hear about that?
I did hear about that.
I respect that.
And I heard that people were commenting that on the Minnesota Timberwolves Instagram, and they were deleting the comments.
I actually commented on Jimmy Butler's Instagram the Love Social intro, but with Jimmy Butler's name instead of Chief Keef's. And anytime anyone was hating on him, I would replace his name with Cat. And it generated a lot of hate. Minnesota fans did not appreciate that. They are also slightly racist. So Jimmy Butler, I think you're making the right call, man. Welcome to Miami.
Also, who wants to live in Minnesota?
It does get cold like Minnesota, but Miami's lit, man. All right. Also going on today in sports, over in Sin City, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes named the new MVP favorite with odds of plus 300 to win MVP. Over 200 between him and Aaron Rodgers. Lucas Lima, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I watched the Chiefs San Francisco game, and listen, this guy's the real deal. I've been saying it since he was a prospect. He's my favorite quarterback out of that draft class. People kept saying, "What about Deshaun Watson? What about Mitch Trubisky?" This kid has an insane arm, insane athletic ability. Sitting behind Alex Smith really allowed him to grow this year as a quarterback. And I think obviously the numbers will regress. He's on pace to throw like 80 touchdowns, something ridiculous like that. Obviously they're going to regress a bit, but I could see him totally having an MVP caliber season. But it really is a shame though, because the Kansas City Chiefs have a knack for choking in the playoffs at home. So I could totally see them blowing a 35-point lead at home. Their defense is not good at all. Patrick Mahomes is the real deal.
Their defense is not good, but that's also why they've inquired in Seattle about Earl Thomas III. But when I watch Patrick Mahomes, I see Brett Favre.
For sure.
I see a little bit of a taller version of Brett Favre. This guy can sling. And the receivers around him are doing him no injustice. I mean, you got Sammy Watkins, Tyreek Hill, Chris Conley's a solid receiver, DeMarcus Robinson had a couple nice catches last year. Travis Kelce's the best tight end in the NFL, second best tight end in the NFL, sorry, Gronk. And Kareem Hunt, who Andy Reid once compared to legend Brian Westbrook. I mean, that's an amazing offense, and not to mention the offensive line. Bartman's pretty good. I'm not bashing Mahomes, but I think everyone needs to just take a halt a little bit before we say this guy is the truth. I think he's very good. When I look at him, I do see a lot of Brett Favre, but a guy like this who has such a big arm and makes very sporadic throws, that's a lot of picks, too, that are waiting to come for him.
I mean, throughout 3 games, he's only thrown 1 interception, which is an incredible statistic.
He actually beat Peyton Manning's record throughout 3 games. The old record was 12 touchdowns, and he has 13 touchdowns. And fun fact, he throws the ball, a baseball, over 90 miles per hour. So imagine what he could do with a football.
Look,
He threw a ball 60 yards in the air accurately to Tyreek Hill, like in the preseason.
this kid's doing everything right. I just think everyone's kind of treating him now like he's a legend, which obviously he's going to be down on the record books. He broke Peyton Manning's record, but we just need to halt a little bit.
I agree. It's his first year, so obviously there's going to be some growing pains. But some of the throws this guy can make are Aaron Rodgers-esque. Like, this one throw he had, he scrambled 19 yards,
That was
then
beautiful.
threw a 26 mile per hour like football to Chris Conley in the end zone. I don't know how you catch a pass that's coming at you 26 miles an hour.
I
But
don't know, man.
this man is insane. The Kansas City offense doesn't even get better in the second half, though. They're pretending to slow down.
I mean, who knows? If the Eagles win a Super Bowl, maybe Andy Reid can now. All right, moving on. In college football, down in Clemson, Kelly Bryant has been reported to be transferring away from Clemson after hearing the news from Dabo Swinney that he'll be benched in favor of freshman quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence, being the former #1 prospect in America, is a freshman. MJ, you're a huge college football fanatic. How do you feel about this?
I think it's a smart move on him. Honestly, I watched all the Clemson games so far, and the offensive production with Kelly Bryant in the offense, with Trevor Lawrence in the offense, is 10 times better than it was with Kelly Bryant, which is very scary for opposing defenses. And actually, I really like this move too. You know, we saw this happen with Alabama. Jalen Hurts is most likely transferring with Tua Tagovailoa, whatever the fuck his name is,
Talk about Loa.
being named the starter. I think it's a smart move on him, and he wants to play football, and I think he'll re-amp his career and then become a very good NFL quarterback after he transfers.
This reminds me of a certain move that happened a few years ago. Oh, MJ, you're not
Is
there?
it the move? Are we thinking of the same move?
I'm thinking of a guy that took Notre Dame to the national championship game in 2012, but 2013.
I was thinking Cam Newton.
I was thinking Russell Wilson.
Oh, I'm thinking none of that. I'm thinking Everett Golson. I mean, this guy took Notre Dame to the national championship game, I believe in 2013 down here in Miami against Alabama. Got obliterated, but was benched next season in favor of Malik Zaire. Then, of course, Malik Zaire benched in favor of Deshaun Kaiser. It's kind of a revolving door there in Notre Dame as Tim Book's now starting in favor of Brandon Wimbush. But this defense is ridiculous at Clemson. And when you look at that team, they're getting nowhere without that defensive line of Clelin Ferrell, Dexter Lawrence,
Dirty.
Christian Wilkins. I mean, that's a ridiculous defensive line. And if they had any semi-competent quarterback play, they were going to make the playoff easily. In the ACC, that was kind of lacking last year. Because let's face it, Miami was not on the same level as Clemson. Sorry, Brandon. But
I won't argue with you.
this reminds me of Everett Golson because I think there's a lot of hype surrounding Kelly Bryant because he was once on this elite team. He was once on it. But once Golson, he transferred to FSU, he was not good at FSU. I mean, they started Sean McGuire over him, the longtime backup to Jameis Winston. He was just terrible, too. I mean, they lost to Houston in the Peach Bowl, but I think, if anything, it'll be like Everett Golson. I mean, I wouldn't really compare Kelly Bryant to Russell Wilson or nowhere near Cam Newton. I mean, Cam Newton left because he stole a laptop, which is still a touchy subject for me being a Gators fan, but if anything parallels the Kelly Bryant transfer, it's going to be Everett Golson, in my opinion. That's a kind of a hot take, but we'll keep it for now.
I think you're medium here.
All right, and that was this week in sports. Well, besides the red shirt being whipped out, there's another reason Sundays are great again. It's because the NFL is back. The number one thing in all of our lives, the only thing that keeps us together, the National Football League is back. But there's kind of been some controversy with the 2018 NFL season, with Roger Goodell being a gigantic pussy and enacting the hitting rule.
Facts.
The new hitting rule where it stated if you put your body weight down on a player, it's called roughing the passer penalty. And it's taken no time for this to totally fuck games.
I've never seen a league where refs have as much power to change the outcome of a game. A week ago, with Vikings Green Bay game, Green Bay should have won that. They had that in the bag. A controversial call on Clay Matthews. Poor Clay Matthews has been called for 2 roughing the
I
passers.
feel really bad for
Very,
Matthews.
very tic-tacky play call.
Is Clay Matthews the next Vontaze Burfict?
He's not a dirty player, but
He's
it's
like the Martin Luther King of Vontaze Burfict. He does it peacefully.
fucking Kirk Cousins threw a pick 6 that would have ended the game. Then they call a roughing the passer penalty. Minnesota marches down the field, scores a touchdown, sends it to overtime. Their kicker misses all their field goals. It's just like it should have been a Green Bay win. It's just and also Monday Night Football. Ben Roethlisberger literally flopped and got a roughing the passer call. A defensive end hit him in the head like with his hand or something. Ben Roethlisberger falls on the floor, 15 yards. It's ridiculous. It needs to stop. It's just soft. Like I understand that you're trying to enact player safety, but when the Dolphins defensive end, what was his name?
William Hayes, he got hurt.
When William Hayes tears his ACL, trying not to put body weight on the quarterback, that just goes to show that the NFL and Roger Goodell currently only care about the quarterback because they're the ones that makes the most money for the league.
I just want to ask you guys a question. This is the National Football League, right? Not the National Flag Football League. It's ridiculous. You're telling grown men who've trained their whole life to hit people not to hit people? That's ridiculous. I watch football because I want to see people hit the fuck out of each other, not fucking tag each other.
I mean, this is the NFL we're talking about. This is the league that had players like Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, John Lynch, guys who lit the fuck out of people.
Sean Golds.
Gave CTE out like it was toothpicks. I mean, this is the NFL. This is the product. You're just ruining it, Roger. Like, get your shit together. I know CTE is an issue.
You buffoon.
I know CTE is an issue in today's society. I know all of that, but maybe we should put a little more research into the helmets and other ways to protect the players besides stopping them from hitting and playing football. Because otherwise, like, what the fuck are we doing? Just give them flags. Like,
Flags should be reviewable for sure. I'm still pissed that they called that offensive pass interference in the Niners game that cost CJ Beathard, who looks like Jesus, a touchdown. That would have put the game to 7 points.
all right.
Fuck you, refs.
Enough of what the NFL is doing bad, because through 3 weeks of this year's NFL season, it's been very exciting. Led by the guy who's leading the unusual start of the NFL, Ryan Fitzpatrick, broke NFL history as he now owns the longest streak of 400-plus yard games, beating guys like us of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Dan Marino, Drew Brees, with 3 400-plus passing yard games. Ryan Fitzpatrick now down in Tampa Bay, lighting it up, leads the NFL in passing yards. Is Fitzmagic back?
I think that he'll be starting for a while now. Winston hasn't really shown much in however many years he's been playing. Mariota's been better. In my opinion, Mariota has not been that good. So I think that you ride the hot hand. Fitzpatrick looked great for the second half of Monday Night Football. He had one really bad pick six, but the other pick wasn't his fault. Tip pass. But yeah, I think the way it works, it's always Fitzmagic and then it's Fitztragic. So I think that you watched him play with the Jets a few years ago, his first year. He lit it up with guys like Eric Decker and Brandon Marshall. I think we could see a repeat of that, and I could totally see the Bucs being a sneak-in wildcard team.
I agree with that. When I look at this team, they scream the 2015 New York Jets to me. I mean, you look at the receivers that are surrounding Fitzpatrick.
The D-line, too, is pretty good.
But I just, at the end of the day, Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to be the guy to take you to the glory land.
I don't think he's back at all because let me just tell you how many teams Ryan Fitzpatrick's been on since he's been in the league. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 or 7 teams. And just reading, let me read you this from his St. Louis Rams time. Ryan Fitzpatrick earned the win and earned him the next 3 starts, but was unable to duplicate his success the next weeks, and he threw for 5 interceptions. This guy is just an inconsistent machine. He'll give you 3 touchdowns, 400 yards, then a game with 300 yards, no touchdowns, and 5 picks. He's not a good quarterback.
Are you suggesting they play Winston over him?
You play Fitzpatrick until he gives you a reason not to play him. Your team's been succeeding. The other night, you really could have won that game besides a slow start. I think you got to worry more about...
Also, fuck you, Ryan Fitzpatrick, because you cost me my fantasy game. I lost by 2 fucking points.
I think... Here's what I think. If you have a receiving core of Mike Evans, who is a top 5 receiver in the NFL right now, Deshaun Jackson, who's probably like a top 30 receiver of all time.
I put him up there. He's
those days in Philly were amazing.
Top 10 deep threat of all time.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then Chris Godwin, who's a good young receiver. O.J. Howard, who's a phenomenal talent. Cameron Brate, a solid tight end. I mean, you have tons of weapons, Ryan. Like, if you could throw the ball. I mean, obviously 400 yards in an NFL record's impressive, but like...
Even guys like Drew Brees. Drew Brees has, he's had several 5,000-yard seasons. never threw 400 yards 3 games in a row.
I know.
He's
It's
on an
very impressive.
unprecedented
I
hot
just don't know
start.
if Fitzmagic's back because I don't know if it was ever really there. Moving on now. MJ, I will let you talk about this one.
The Cleveland Browns are a winning football team. Let me just tell you, Thursday night at 32, I'm not going to say the rest of my address because I don't want people showing up. But let's just say at the Eisenberg household, there were tears of joy at 12 p.m. 12 a.m. on Friday morning at 12 a.m. because the Cleveland Browns won a football game, and I think we have our franchise quarterback. Now, I don't really want to get too ahead of myself because this is the Cleveland Browns, but the Cleveland Browns could possibly make the playoffs. I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
That's a little scorching, MJ. But if you're going to say that, please say it in the boomer voice. No?
No, I
Yeah.
can't.
Hugh Jackson is a fucking idiot. If he started Baker Mayfield the first 2 games, they have a very good shot of being 3-0. Tyrod Taylor is not. He's a great quarterback for what he is. He's not going to make any mistakes, but he's not going to make any game-winning plays.
Let me tell
The
you-
Cleveland defense is ridiculous. All that
They lead
all-
the NFL in takeaways this
all
year.
that losing that they've done, they've got a lot of good players from it. Whether it be through the draft, they're spending all their insane amount of money that they have on
Look.
free agents. That team is legit. We'll see if Baker can do anything with them, but it'll be interesting
I'll
for
tell
sure.
you, when I was watching Baker Mayfield, it looked like he was at Oklahoma again. I mean, nothing changed. It looked like the NFL didn't even phase him at all. Watching him, man, he has a fuckable spiral. Like, that spiral.
A very fuckable spiral.
A very fuckable spiral. And you got receivers who can do everything. You got Jarvis Landry, the slant king of the NFL. Antonio Callaway, who can burn almost any cornerback. Rashad Higgins in the slot's pretty good. I mean, and then
Pissed
David
at Josh
Njoku's
Gordon.
an athletic freak. I mean,
Duke
he's got
Johnson,
weapons.
Duke Johnson at running back too.
Duke Johnson at running back. I mean, he's got weapons, and he's gotten everything he needs to succeed there. It's just Hugh Jackson's an idiot.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have any real success, MJ, until they get rid of Hugh Jackson. He's garbage. He literally first week of the season he said, "Oh yeah, Josh Gordon isn't gonna start," and then Josh Gordon accidentally started the game and had like 80% of snaps. Like he traded away Josh Gordon for a 5th round pick. Like Hugh Jackson should not be.
Well, Josh
he's
Jordan was a cancer.
He's like 2-33 now or something. 2-32-1. Like that's not a good record, obviously. But I like when the Browns win. It's always fun when they win. I feel bad for their fans when they lose. So I think it's great for the league.
And the Rally Possum is now the new mascot of the Cleveland Browns. I'm officially stating that.
Oh my goodness. Oh man.
Only in Cleveland will you see a possum being held up in a stadium. And let me just tell you, it was celebrated like the Super Bowl in Cleveland on Thursday night.
That is pretty sad, MJ.
And
No, that's lit as fuck.
and no shirt J.R. Smith is back.
Will we be seeing no shirt Baker?
Baker has taken pictures with his shirt off, and let me just say, if I was gay or a girl, he's pretty fucking fuckable.
But does he have?
Dude, Jimmy Garoppolo is the
Does
most
he
effective
have
quarterback in
Barack
NFL.
Obama calling him, telling him to put a shirt back on?
No, he does not.
All right. Moving on. Another surprise team at the beginning of the NFL. There are 3 3-0 teams left in the NFL, and guess who's one of them? The Miami motherfucking Dolphins are a 3-0 team beating the Tennessee Titans, the Oakland Raiders, and who did they beat?
The Jets.
The New York Jets. You laugh now, but the hype is real in Miami, baby. Ryan Tannehill, after missing, what is it, like 19 NFL games, has come back out on fire, has like 700 and something passing yards, has a high QBR. I mean, Tannehill's been killing it. And the Dolphins look good. I mean, I know they played a really bad team.
This is for Sam.
Back to what I was saying. I got a little overexcited, but if we're really going to talk about the Dolphins right now, last year they had Jake Cutler as their quarterback. He sucks. He was
Hey, whoa.
horrible.
Whoa.
He's a fan of the podcast.
We love you, Jay.
Jay Cutler was horrible. The locker room culture was clearly bad. No offense, MJ Jarvis Landry. Fuck that guy. Ndamukong Suh is very selfish. We've all known that. But look, Gase really preached the changing the culture of the locker room, and it's clearly working. I mean, he brought in his guys. The team's fast as heck. I mean, did you see Jakeem Grant and Albert Wilson high five on the touchdown?
That was sick.
Made me happy.
Look, the Dolphins have started 3-0 before. They started 3-0 a couple years ago, and then they ended up 8-8. I'm excited, but then again, it's the Dolphins that we're talking about. I'm kind of keeping a temper. But the thing I've seen with the Dolphins is improvement. You know, the speed of them. And you look at that secondary. I mean, Xavier Howard's quickly developing into one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. Has 3 interceptions through 3 games. Bobby McCain is one of the better slot corners in the NFL. And without Rashad Jones, one of the better safeties, Micah Fitzpatrick developing into a budding star. I like the Dolphins a lot. Do I think Tannehill's the answer? No. I mean, I really do like Justin Herbert out of Oregon, but if the Dolphins beat the Patriots this weekend, I mean, it's time to get excited down in Miami. Brandon, you have something to say?
Yeah, so, I mean, jumping in real quick, guys. My issue with the Dolphins right now, of course, I'm very, very, very excited. I love when the Dolphins win. I will sit down sometimes. I'll be in class, whatever it is, and just remember that the Dolphins are still undefeated, and it makes me a happy boy. But my worry is that while the team is good and they're showing some flickers of excitement, they don't have any big talent. They have Albert Wilson, they have Jakeem Grant, they brought in Frank Gore a little while ago, they have Kenyon Drake, and these guys are good, but I don't see them like I see bigger names in the league, and that worries me a little bit for the, how solid this team actually is.
All right, let's look at last year's Los Angeles Rams. Did you exactly know who Robert Woods was? I mean, you might have heard of him, but...
Shout out my dog, Robert Backwoods.
Did you ever see Robert Woods play in the NFL?
Bro,
didn't he play on the Bills?
Bro. He was dirty on the Bills.
He was not dirty on the Bills.
He had Tyrod Taylor was his quarterback. He was dirty for Tyrod Taylor. Chris Hogan was on the Bills, too. He was dirty with the Bills. Every good receiver ever who signs in free agency and becomes a good receiver was on the Bills before because the Bills fucking suck.
Okay, fine.
Every single one of them?
Every single one.
Okay, fine. We can continue this. Look, there was no-name guys on last year's Rams. Do you know who Farrell Cooper was?
I get your point, Sam, but you have to figure who the best team that the Dolphins have faced this year were the Tennessee Titans, and that was in a 7-hour game that made it absolutely no sense.
Hey, the possession was in our hands. We were going to blow them out.
Let me just tell you how long this game was. I was in Ohio. I spent the whole day in Ohio, went on the plane, got off the plane, and the Dolphins game was still going on.
I was working an 8-hour shift. I got on at 1, and I got off at 8. And then when I took my phone at 7, I'm like, oh shit, the game finally finished. Like that, it was a ridiculously long game. I think that what the Dolphins are doing are great. The fact that 3-0 shows they have potential to actually win. They should have beaten all 3 of these teams. I'm very happy they did. But this week will be a test with the Patriots, who are not looking so good. Tom Brady's deep ball is apparently not as good as everyone thinks it is.
Hey, might not have as fuckable of a spot anymore. Basically, long story short, because I feel like we've been talking about the Dolphins for a while now. We should probably wrap that up. If the Dolphins win this weekend, the Dolphins are going to start coming up in national relevancy, and the NFL is going to start talking about Adam Gase as their wonder boy again, like they did in 2015, which I love. 2016, my bad, guys. All right, moving on. MJ added to the agenda the first female announcers on Thursday Night Football. I'm pretty sure Hannah Storm.
Yeah. So, Amazon Prime, they're having football games now. I thought Amazon Prime is where you buy stuff online, but I guess now they're having football games. And they picked 2 female announcers. Can somebody give me the names of them? See, the thing is, I'm fine with that. Good for them. Like, good, the league's changing, whatever. You can't have people that just don't know about, like, as much as they know about football, they've never played football. So they don't, like, it's gonna, like, they need, like, a good vote. Like, I don't even know how to say it, but.
Well, in all fairness, do you think Joe Buck has
No, fuck Joe Buck.
No, but Joe Buck, but, like, you could, like, you understand when Joe Buck's talking to you. Like, are these girls gonna, like,
Joe Buck is the worst sports announcer of all time.
Stats?
Fuck you, I love Joe Buck.
Dude, fuck Joe Buck, fuck Troy Aikman.
You can't tell me some of the most iconic calls in the NFL.
No, they are, but he just sucks. Like, I hate
I
him.
get the chills when I think about the Minnesota play. And Joe Buck.
Diggs, touchdown, sideline, touchdown, unbelievable.
I mean, he's no Vern Lundquist, but here's my thing. I'm going to make this known, and I'll talk about it on the show a lot. My least favorite football announcer of all time is Beth Mowins. Her voice makes me cringe. I don't even care that she's a girl. I'll take a girl announcer. I don't care that Hannah Storm's doing it. She's good on SportsCenter. But as long as it's not Beth Mowins, I don't care.
Should be Doris Burke. Love you, Doris Burke.
All right, I feel like we've talked about that for a while. All right, we're just going to do some rapid-fire picks for the biggest games in the NFL this weekend, starting with the Thursday night game, the Los Angeles Rams versus the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings coming off a shocking loss in Buffalo. Actually, it was in Minnesota, which makes it even worse.
Or was
Josh Allen,
Or was it in
baby.
Milwaukee? Oh, did anybody see?
Oh, yeah.
Or to
That was funny.
the man who wears shorts, Josh Allen. But quick picks, MJ, who you got? The Rams versus Minnesota.
I got the Rams. The Rams are just hot. It's LA's greatest show at the moment until the Lakers play.
Lucas?
I have the Rams. I don't know the team's NFC West. They're probably my favorite besides the Niners, of course. Their team is disgusting. They have so much talent on that team. Peters is out for a few games, I think, but they'll be able to take care of the Vikings. Cousins did not look that good. I think he's a little overrated. But yeah, give me the LA Rams this week.
I'm going to go against both of you guys, and I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think Peters being out, and I'm pretty sure
Talib, yeah, he's having surgery.
That's not good going against Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs. I think it's going to be a shootout, and I think the Vikings are going to bounce back and win this game. All right, moving on. The 3-0 boys versus some shitty 1-2 team from Boston. The Miami Dolphins taking on the New England Patriots in Foxborough. Who you guys got?
I think I'm gonna go. Sorry, Sam. As much as I want to see the Dolphins win, I think New England's just gonna come out and destroy them because they're gonna be pissed off.
It's okay. I'll explain my reasoning. We continue.
There's no way the Patriots go 1-3 to start the season. They're gonna win this game. I don't think it'll be by that much. It'll show that the Dolphins can keep up with one of the best teams in the league. I think Brady's clearly lost a step if you look at it. But if they play Josh Gordon, I'm not even trying to be like a smart ass or anything. But if they play Josh Gordon, they'll win handedly. Like that team is just too good, and Josh Gordon.
First of all, Josh Gordon's just going to get locked down by Xavier Howard. I mean, come on. So funny, bro. Xavier Howard's insane. He leads the NFL in interception since week 13 of last year. How are you going to argue with me?
Brady threw like 2 years ago. Like
Brady threw two to Howard the last time they played. You watch that? He locked down Brandon Cooks, who's been playing better than. Well, I mean, you can't say that because Josh Gordon's not even. Okay. You know what? I'm picking New England. Yeah, you may call me a fair weather fan. You may call me all that. But you know what? The past 3 games, every analyst has picked the Miami Dolphins to lose. And guess what they've done? They've won. So every analyst here is picking the Dolphins to lose, and they're going to fucking win. And when they win, I'll comment on Ryan Tannehill's Instagram like I always do. Hey, Ryan, you're welcome for the win. Moving on. The Sunday night game. They changed the song, by the way. That's kind of annoying, right? Why do they keep changing the Sunday night song?
I don't know. I get confused. Does Monday night have a song now too?
Yeah, Monday night's. Are you ready for some football?
I haven't been watching any Sunday night games since I work Sunday night.
Oh, so you're
or
fake.
close.
You're a fake.
Yeah, I've worked Thursday and Sunday nights, which is fucking.
All right, moving on. One of the best rivalries in the NFL: Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. Quick picks. Who you got, MJ?
I'm calling for a tie. I hate both teams, so move on.
Pitt hasn't been looking that good. They do miss Le'Veon Bell. Connor's good, but he's not nearly as good. I'm gonna go with a surprise pick here. I'm gonna go Baltimore.
I'm gonna go Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense looked a lot better with Joe Hayden. It really
He's
did.
good.
I know I'm a Joe Hayden.
Browns cut him.
But their defense looked a lot better with Joe Hayden, so I'm just gonna have to
No
go with
comment.
Pittsburgh. All right, moving on, guys. Kind of going in reverse order of the weekends. We're going from the NFL to college football, but this is going to be a little bit of a quicker segment considering Lucas's lack of knowledge about college football. Right, Lucas?
Syracuse 4-0, baby.
That's as far as you'll get with him. But starting out with one of the surprise teams of the season, the number 5th ranked team, Louisiana State University in the Fighting Coach-O's.
Coach O down in the bayou.
Coach-O. LSU, number 5 team in the nation, led by quarterback graduate transfer from Ohio State, Joe Burrow. Number 5 team in the land. They're going to Gainesville next week. That's not as big of a game as when they're going to play Georgia, Alabama, Auburn. Is LSU for real?
I think LSU is not for real. I just don't think they're talented enough compared to all the other SEC teams. Like, I was watching the game this weekend. I think they were versing Louisiana Tech. And the game was actually pretty fucking close. And, like, can you name one fucking player on Louisiana Tech? I know I can. But I can name every player on Alabama, and they're going to destroy LSU.
Shout out Jeff Driscoll.
Sorry, Coach O. I love you.
Shout out Jeff Driscoll and Kenneth Dixon from Louisiana Tech. Brennan.
I want to say that this is definitely a personal thing. I'm not going to try to hide it at all. I hope LSU is for real, because that means Miami will go up in the rankings because they lost to LSU in week 1, which would make me very happy, because if they are for real, then Miami's going to look a whole lot better because they have not lost since. So, yeah, that's all I got.
I don't think they're for real for the national title. Do I think they're going to have a good season and be the 3rd team out of the SEC, which is good enough for a New Year's Six Bowl? All things considered, since we're all kind of thinking it's going to be Georgia and Alabama in the playoff. Yeah, if that's a good season for you, LSU, then yeah. But, look, Burrow's not some amazing quarterback as the national media is painting him out to be. I think he just gets the job done. I mean, but then again, Matt Flynn did win a national championship for LSU.
That's all you can ask for an LSU quarterback, though, to get the job done.
This is not nearly as talented as their other teams. I mean, but that defense is pretty good, led by sophomore Greedy Williams, who's the best cornerback
He's
in the
dirty.
land. He is dirty. But do I see them beating a team like Alabama? No.
The last time I thought LSU was for real, they got hammered by Derrick Henry, so I'm going to go now.
Also, my apologies earlier in the show. I said they're going to play at Auburn. They already did beat Auburn. That was quite the impressive win with a
Oh, shit, yeah.
with a Cole Tracy field goal to win the game as time expired. But LSU, I'm rooting for you. I mean, I hate you guys. I hate your asshole athletic director who criticized Florida for canceling a game when there was a fucking hurricane. How would you like if we played a game during Katrina?
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Whoa. Okay, I'll take over.
I love you, Coach
Hey,
O.
cut that out.
I
cut
love
that
you,
out.
Coach O, but fuck you, Joe Oliva. And
Hey, cut
hopefully
that out.
Florida
Are you gonna cut that?
trounces LSU next week. I will be at the game. Moving on, Miami made a quarterback change this week against Florida International University. They were formerly led by junior Malik Rozier. Now they're led by sophomore, redshirt freshman actually, N'Kosi Perry. Perry last week against Florida International went 17 of 25 for 224 yards and 3 touchdowns with 1 interception. Has Miami found their guy?
I heard he was the future, but then again, look who they're gonna play against. So it's only a matter of time before he's throwing like 5 interceptions in a game. Sorry, Brandon.
I watched him. He looked pretty good. I mean, Rozier's not that good, so it shouldn't be that hard to be better than Malik Rozier. I just think this is more of a testament to the job Mark Richt's doing than N'Kosi Perry, if anything. I mean, how the fuck, if this kid was making those throws and Rozier couldn't really make them against Florida International, how the fuck do you start Rozier over him? And when you're getting destroyed by LSU, how do you not change your quarterback earlier? I mean, I just think Perry's a much better quarterback. Do I think he's the truth? No, but I think he's a better quarterback. I think he's better for them to get the job done. Now with Virginia Tech getting hurt, with Josh Jackson getting hurt for Virginia Tech, that division's a little more wide open. So I think N'Kosi Perry's going to help Miami with that. All right, moving on in college football. The Heisman updates. As of yesterday, the favorite for the Heisman Trophy is Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback for Alabama. Look, this guy wasn't even supposed to be starting this year. I mean, MJ, what do you have to say about that?
Okay, so this might be a little in the hotter section, but I have a feeling the Heisman's going to come down to either Tua or Dwayne Haskins from the Ohio State University, based on which team wins the national championship or which team has a better run. And I think whoever leads their team to a better run will end up being the Heisman. But my sneak Heisman is Kentucky running back Benny Snell.
That's getting a little scorching, but he is good.
He fucking is carrying Kentucky on his back. He's going to need to see a chiropractor. If Kentucky keeps this up, who knows what they're capable of, and who knows what he's capable of.
Okay. Snell's having a great season. Haskins, I don't know if I'd put him up there with a guy like Kyler Murray
He's
maybe,
dirty.
or Will Greer. But I think how can you just not?
Haskins has 16 touchdowns already this season.
Okay, let's go with Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa has thrown for 1,033 yards. We have not left the month of September. He is tied for the lead with 12 touchdowns in the SEC. Oh, hey guys, let's guess who's tied with him. Who's tied for the most touchdowns in the SEC?
Is it Felipe Franks?
It is Felipe Franks. We're not going to talk about that, but that's just kind of impressive. I think Tua's having such a good season. And this guy really only plays for the half. I mean, Tua's barely completed a game this year. So I just think his numbers are boggling. I mean, we're obviously going to see more when he plays better teams. Clearly, Texas A&M isn't good enough for him. But, I mean, like, it's just, how is this guy doing these numbers? But my popular pick, if the season ended, I really like Kyler Murray out of Oklahoma. But, yeah, that's the Heisman update. Guys who are still in the conversation, Will Greer, Kyler Murray, Benny Snell, Tua Tagovailoa. Luke Salino, what do you have to say?
Eric Dungy is up there. Just like to point that out. Q's 4-0, baby. Let's go.
Sure.
Alright, on to our quick picks for this weekend. So we have Ohio State versus Penn State. Big playoff implications, I believe, in this game, hopefully. Obviously, I'm a big Ohio State fan, so go Bucks. Sam, what do you have to say?
I'm going to go Ohio State in a close one. I mean, they're going to Penn State in the whiteout, but Nick Bosa's out. I feel like that's going to be a little harder for Ohio State to overcome, but they're so deep on defense. But at the end of the day, I think just Ohio State has a much better offense than Penn State does. I don't believe Miles Sanders really compares to J.K. Dobbins or Mike Levers.
All right, Brendan, you have anything, your pick?
I think Ohio State. I think Penn State was very good in the past few years.
Saquon Barkley, maybe.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Ohio State just has a constant there, and I think they're going to take it.
And Lucas, your pick?
I don't really know that much about either teams, but I'm going to go Ohio State because
Good pick.
they're pretty good.
Good pick.
So, yeah. And also Penn State doesn't have Saquon anymore.
Moving
So,
on.
That's all I got to say.
Moving on, we got another top 10 game, Stanford versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame also made big headlines last week, benching starter Brandon Wimbush and starting quarterback Tim Book. Book had a pretty good game. I don't have
Hey,
stats
wet like
for
I'm
it.
Book.
Wet like I'm Book, but I'm going to have to go with Stanford in this one. That comeback against Oregon was unbelievable. Bryce Love's a really good running back. He really hasn't even kicked the tires going. And KJ Costello is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in America. And I think at the end of the day, Book's not going to be able to keep up with that Stanford offense. So I'm going to go ride with Stanford.
What seed is Notre Dame?
8. It's 7 versus 8.
I'm gonna have to go personally in Notre Dame. I don't trust Stanford. I've only seen them play one game. I haven't seen Notre Dame play any games. But against Oregon, Stanford did not look that good. It took like 3 fumbles for them to get back in the game, and in overtime. So I'm gonna have to go with Notre Dame. I don't trust Stanford right now. They're always pretty solid, but I just have to go Notre Dame. I can't trust them after almost losing a game like that to Oregon.
I'm going to have to go with Stanford. I personally don't like Notre Dame just because they have some bouts with Miami, and that kind of just makes me mad. Also, join a conference already, you friggin' pussies. Yeah, Stanford.
All right.
And I'm going to go Stanford as well because I just haven't seen enough from Notre Dame yet to amaze me, and I have no clue how they're ranked so high.
All right. Next up, this is going to be over 100 points we scored. We have a battle in the Big 12, West Virginia versus Texas Tech University. Both have pretty good quarterbacks. Will Greer, obviously, but quarterback at Texas Tech is not as known. Alec Bowman.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking good.
Who are you going to pick for this game, MJ?
I don't want to pick anybody, but I'm just saying if you're betting, bet the over because it's going to be a high-scoring affair.
Brandon?
I honestly not sure for that one. I haven't been keeping up with either of those two teams. I guess I'll just say Texas Tech because Texas has beautiful women.
Ooh.
I don't know what to say about either of these two teams. I like Will Greer, though. I know you hate him, but I know Sam hates him. I'm going to go West Virginia because I trust Will Greer.
I never picked against West Virginia in basketball for our Lord and Savior Bobby Huggins, but this one, that quarterback, man, Alec Bowman, he's really been impressive. I mean, they kind of lost a bad game in the beginning against Ole Miss, and Ole Miss has been pretty bad the rest of the season, but it's the first game of the year you're starting a true freshman quarterback in Alec Bowman. But look, Cliff Kingsbury is coaching for his life out there. I mean, this guy fucks up once and he's done. So I think Kingsbury's going to out-coach Dana Holgorsen, who I do not think is a good coach. I think Alec Bowman's going to have his coming-out party, and Texas Tech's going to upset West Virginia. And Will Greer takes a huge hit in the Heisman rankings. All right, that's our college football segment. All right, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show, the medium take segment. Of Of course, you know the rules. Gets too hot, we're gonna yell at you. Gets too cold, just walk, just leave. Because we live in Florida, it's hot, no excuse for it to be cold. All right, let's start with MJ. Your medium take.
Okay, well I have two, but I'm gonna hit you with my first one. The Browns will be a playoff team in 3 to 5 years. I stopped myself. I was gonna say this year, but I think 3 to 5 years. You know, if Baker's really developed into a good quarterback, we do have a shot at the playoffs.
I think you can talk Super Bowl in 3 to 5 years. I think.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
All right, moving on. What's your second one?
Okay, so this is going to shock all of you, but Lucas's 49ers are going to trade for Robert Griffin III. And let me just tell you, Robert Griffin III is going
That's
to
getting a little hot, MJ.
he's going to re-amp his career because let me just tell you, when he was working with Kyle Shanahan back in 2012, I believe they went on a 7-game win streak. So just watch out for that.
Just like to dispute that. Kyle Shanahan said today they're not going to trade for a quarterback.
Oh, well then, I guess that
Just
take
cut that out.
sucks.
All right, Brandon, your medium take.
All right, so recently I've been on a kick with facial hair. I've been growing out a beard myself. It's given me a lot of things to look forward to in my life. So my medium take, I gotta phrase this correctly. Fitzmagic. This beard is exciting. I think this beard is currently the hottest beard in sports.
I can agree with that.
Currently.
That's getting very hot, Brandon. I'm
You
starting to
think
get
so?
pissed off.
What's your rebuttal, Sam?
What's my rebuttal? I mean, you guys got guys like Brent Burns. I mean, have you seen his beard?
I have.
How good is that?
I think I say it's hot now because
James Harden?
His beard's overrated.
listen, I'm saying
That's a hot take.
That's not my medium take, so I can say that.
I'm saying it's hot right now. It is definitely influenced by the hype that Ryan Fitzpatrick has surrounding him due to his performance, but I think that this beard is just part of a look
It's stellar.
that not many people are pulling off in the
All right.
in the realm that he is in,
That's fair.
and I respect that.
Lucas, your medium take.
All right, I've got two. They're both based on my favorite teams. One doing pretty well, the other in a lot of despair and sadness and depression. But that's besides the point. Syracuse plays Clemson this week. Now I'm not gonna go where you think I'm gonna go with this because that'd be ridiculous. But they're as of right now they're 25-point underdogs. I think they'll cover the spread, keep it close. I think if they keep it close with Clemson, there's a chance they get top 25 consideration. But for some reason, Virginia Tech's ranked above them and they fucking suck. So
Virginia Tech lost their starting quarterback.
what?
They lost their starting quarterback for the season. So
I don't know.
they don't fucking suck. They just lost their quarterback.
They lost to Old Dominion.
Yeah, without their quarterback.
Well,
That was
anyway.
bad podcasting, Lucas.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I think Clemson. I think Hughes keeps it close to Clemson. Dungy's playing really well. That Clemson defense is disgusting though, but Syracuse's defense is looking pretty solid too.
All right.
My second medium take for this episode, obviously with the news that Garoppolo is out, the Niners are gonna be going with C.J. Beathard as their quarterback. Last year he had during the five of the games he started, the point differential in those games was 15 points. A lot of close games, a lot of easily winnable games, if you will. I think that Niners will finish 4-12 or better. That defense is looking all right. When Sherman comes back, our secondary will be like solid. I'm looking forward to like a top pick this year though. Bosa would be disgusting on that D line with Buckner, and our linebackers are dirty too. Shout out to 49ers.
All right. Moving on. So my medium take kind of has to. It's a little personal. So somehow I got roped into playing fantasy hockey. I played last year. I stopped checking after 4 weeks, but it's for money. I mean, $20, 10-person leagues, nice money. But my medium take is that my fantasy hockey team is going to be painfully average. I mean, I don't know. Like,
How do you even play fantasy hockey?
honestly, I wish I could tell you how the points work. I don't know why they asked me to be in this league. It's ridiculous, man. I don't know. And yeah.
Fantasy hockey is like playing fantasy NASCAR. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't know if those are the same things, MJ.
They're not, but
Does that
they're
exist?
equally confusing.
Equally confusing.
Does that exist? Fantasy NASCAR?
It
That'd be
does.
so lit.
It does.
It does because
Hey,
I've
daily
tried signing
fantasy
up for it.
NASCAR. Daily fantasy NASCAR.
I mean, my fantasy bachelor team was pretty good. I don't know about you guys. My fantasy bachelor league was lit.
Yeah, my fantasy American Ninja Warrior team was unreal.
But my fantasy high school football team was ridiculous.
Yeah,
Dude,
definitely.
Spanish River,
Definitely, if you're picking high school fantasy football in Florida, sorry, Spanish River.
Avoid
but,
all sharks.
But definitely pick the Atlantic High School Eagles against Spanish River tomorrow
Bro, the Spanish
night.
River defense is elite. I don't know about you guys. So yeah, that's our show today. Medium takes, kept it pretty medium except for Brandon, who I thought about slapping, but yeah, that's Medium Podcast, everybody. Season 2, buckle up and enjoy the ride.